board up with a curly sheet. And there are 3 easy steps to follow. So first we make it ready, then we're gonna mount the sheet, and then in the end we'll make all the adjustments to the application. So today it's a long board, and let's get started. So there's a few things you need when you're gonna mount your curly sheet. And so the first thing, of course, you get the package with the sheet. In this package you will also have a knife and a card that you can apply. What you need yourself is some tools, so you can take the bindings or the trunks off. You need some tape, you need a hairdryer, and preferably something to put all the screws in. So let's get started. Now we got to the first step, which is the preparation phase. And what we're going to start with is to take the wheels off, the trunks off. But if you have a snowboard or a wakeboard, you will also want to take the handle off and the fins off. So you need some tools, and then you just screw. A good thing is also to put all your screws and stuff in one place, so you know where you have them. And that also is, if you have your fins, you can also put them together so you don't lose them. If you have any stickers on your board, you want to remove them before you put on the sheet. And you can easily just use your little knife, your little cutter, and easily scrape it off if you have any stickers. We're taking just some soap and water and just clean the board. After you've done that, you can check your board and see if there's any of the edges that are sharp and needs to be removed. And then you can just use your knife as well to just make sure that the edges are quite smooth. There's no edges. You also want to make sure to use this disinfection so that it's 100% clean from any dirt before you're gonna mount the sheet. The cleaner it is, the better your sheet will also stick. So now we got to the second step, which is the application of the sheet. And for this thing you need the card, you need your knife, and you need some tape. And some tape are very sticky and can be difficult to take off, but if you have the disinfection, you will be able to take it off later. But otherwise, we recommend you to use the tape for painting. So you roll out the sheet and make sure that it is in the center. You also want to check where the logo is and potentially where different patterns will sit. So we start with doing this first, making sure that it's in the center. And then you will take tape and tape it in the middle of the board. Then take the knife and the card. You roll it back half so you can take the non-sticky side off. And I also want to say that normally it's better to do this inside when it's not windy and it's a bit warmer, because the stickiness will be better being room temperature. But because it's such nice weather outside today, we decided to do it out here. But then you just take this and you cut the non-sticky part off. You slowly start mounting it. And if there's any shapes and patterns on the board, you want to make sure to press those down as well as you go along, so it sticks really well on all parts of the board. Now you can remove the tape, and you're gonna do the same on the other side. But since this sheet is quite long, I would recommend to cut it off the top part that you won't need before you start to put it on. And if you get any air bubbles while doing this, you can always readjust them later, and I'll show you how to do that in the third step. So last part of the second step in the application, and that is to cut the board around the edges. So first you want to make sure that you really press down the sheet on the edges, but not over the edges. So it's really important that it's not over the edges, but just so it sticks on the edges. Take the little cutter again, and you start in the middle by just cutting into the edge of the board. And now you want to cut along the board side, but rather cut too far away than too close. So you can always readjust this in the third step, which is the adjustment part. So let me just cut. And a little tip is to just slightly angle the knife towards you. So then we come to the third step, which is the final adjustments, and also the last step. And this is just to make the board look really nice. And what we're going to start with is just to continue cutting the edges off of the sheet, and just make sure they are really nicely cut along the board's edges. When you're done doing that all around the board, you are gonna make sure that you have some holes for the screws as well. And a little hack you can do there, just to make it easier to find the holes, is to take a screw and just poke it down through here, so you can get a little sense of where it is. And when you know where the holes are, you will just start cutting them out. One of the last things we're gonna do is to heat the sheet up on the board to make it stick even better. And this is also the time where you can adjust your air bubbles. So what you want to do is take a normal hairdryer, and you want to go through all the board to make sure that it's heated up and sticky. And you also want to put it to the edges and make sure to go all around the edges really thoroughly so they stick the best. Then if you have any air bubbles, you can slowly heat that particular spot up a little bit more and see if you can push it out. And if not, you can also poke a small little hole with your cutter and just use your fingers to take it out. So I will do that now. Alright, almost done. So the last thing you want to do is to put the wheels back on. Alright, you are almost ready to use your new sheet on the board, but you need to make it rest for about 12 hours, so you make sure that the sheet really sticks to the board. And that's especially important if you have a wakeboard or a snowboard that you're going to use in colder weather or in water. So yeah, easy, that was it.